I bet you definitely missed it in the new episode of Skibidi Toilet. Watch the video till the end.
Hey everyone, Royal Cameraman here. Today, the new episode of Skibidi Toilet finally dropped, specifically episode 77, part 1. This episode revealed several intriguing details that are going to have a major impact on the future of the series. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and now let's dive into the breakdown. At the very beginning of the episode, we see a large cameraman hiding in a lake from the Astro toilets. When the Astro Skibidi flies away, the cameraman emerges from the lake onto dry land. He then turns around and we can see Spider Cameraman emerging from the lake. Interestingly, in the background, near the large cameraman, there is a dead toilet, though it's nearly impossible to identify which toilet it is. The large cameraman gestures to the spider-like cameraman to remain hidden while he goes to scout the area. Ahead, he sees the burning ruins of a city that was destroyed by the Astro Skibidi. To his left, he hears the sound of a bell coming from a church and turns towards it. Here, we notice the first intriguing detail in this episode. The cameraman observes an office chair, which we've seen several times before, rolling away on its own. Then, a strange glow appears and the chair disappears into it. The cameraman finds this odd and flies over with his jetpack to investigate what just happened. But when he arrives at the spot where the chair had been moments before, he sees nothing. However, at that moment, I noticed a strange silhouette that looks very much like that of a cameraman. Next to it, there is a broken toilet. At this point, people approach from the left side. They aren't infected with the Skibidi virus. They are regular people trying to survive in this apocalypse. They are armed with ordinary human weapons. For example, the woman is holding an MP-50 submachine gun, and the man on the left has an AK-47. I'm not sure how effective human weapons are against Astro Skibidi, but I think they're probably useless. The woman who approached the cameraman asks him not to shoot, and says that they're not enemies. She mentions that she's seen cameramen helping other people before, and asks him to take them to a safer place. To my surprise, the cameraman refuses to help, and gestures for her to go back. The woman is bewildered since she and her team have nowhere to go, as the entire city is in ruins. At that moment, gunfire erupts from behind. An Astro Scout has arrived, but cameraman shields himself with an energy shield from the Astro shot, and then fires back, hitting the Astro toilet directly in the face, which was unprotected by a helmet. Another Astro toilet then appears, this one with its face covered by a mask, which saves it from the cameraman's laser. The Astro charges at the cameraman, but the shield prevents the toilet from causing any harm, and the cameraman easily destroys this Astro as well. Another Astro toilet then appears, this one with its face covered by a mask, which saves it from the cameraman's laser. He looks at the burning toilets and remembers the people. He wants to call them to follow him, but is met with a horrifying sight. The first Astro toilet had managed to hit the people and kill them, leaving almost nothing behind. With horror in his eyes, the cameraman stares at the remains of the people. He notices something moving in the distance, prepares his weapon, and searches for the target. Suddenly, a new Astro toilet, one we've never seen before, attacks him from behind. The cameraman manages to fend off the initial attacks, but the new enemy knocks him to the ground, and with its sword, it pierces the cameraman's shield. The cameraman tries to shoot the Astro with his weapon, but fails, and the toilet pushes him down. The Astro toilet prepares to finish off the cameraman with its own weapon, but just then, its head is pierced by a sword, and the buzzsaw mutant appears in the frame. The buzzsaw mutant charges at the Astro, using its saw to break the Astro's weapon, and then shoots it with a laser. From behind, the Astro receives a slicing blow from the SWAT mutant, severing its arms. The Astro is knocked back, and behind it, the Skibidi Rambo lands, ruthlessly crushing the Astro's head, killing it. Next, we hear a funny line from the Skibidi SWAT. Why is this bro aiming at me? Is he stupid? The other Skibidis tell the cameraman to calm down since they just saved his life. They say that it's time to officially become friends. The cameraman, however, dismisses them with a wave of his hand, signaling them to leave. Rambo laughs and says that he didn't ask whether the cameraman wanted it or not. Dynamic music starts playing in the background as the G-Squad shifts their focus behind the cameraman, while Rambo's expression clearly shows he's ready for a brutal battle. A whole squad of Astro toilets, led by a destroyer, charges at the new friends, and a fierce battle ensues. The cameraman, along with the G-Squad, tries to damage the destroyer, but it barely takes any significant damage and lands shots on both the cameraman and the buzzsaw mutant. Suddenly, the Skibidi DJ appears from the left and blasts the destroyer with an impulse from his speakers. Skibidi Rambo, along with the camera spider who arrives to help, jumps on the destroyer, delivering a crushing blow that sends it crashing to the ground. On the ground, the destroyer tries to resist, but is hit by laser shots from the cameraman and one of the G Squad members. Then, Skibidi Michael Jackson appears, chopping off the Astro's head. The Skibidi toilets start celebrating their victory, but then legs sprout from the Astro's head, and it begins to scream horrifically, terrifying the cameraman. Skibidi Rambo grabs the Astro's head and hurls it into the distance, accidentally, or maybe not hitting a random skibidist. The cameraman reacts positively to this, giving Rambo a thumbs up, to which Rambo laughs and says, "Let's go!" Now, let's dive deeper into analyzing these interesting moments. From this series, it's clear that even with the active collaboration between Skibidi Toilets and the Alliance, there are still plenty of agents who can't quite accept the new reality. For example, Large Cameraman clearly struggles with trusting the regular Skibidi Toilets, despite their attempts to help out. This could be a key conflict element in the second part of the episode. It's worth noting that Astro Toilets are a more serious threat that demands a united effort. The theory here is that a big chunk of the episode will focus on Cameraman's internal struggle. He might start doubting his inability to trust, which puts not just his life at risk, but also the lives of his allies, like Spider-Cam, who's tagging along with Large Cameraman. And by the way, I've got a crazy theory about him. What if he plays a crucial role in the next part? What if he turns out to be a hidden traitor, or a double agent working for the Astro Toilets? Spider-Cam might suddenly turn on Large Cameraman, making him fight not only the external threat, but also an internal one. This twist would add some serious drama and depth to the plot, especially if Spider-Cam was on a secret mission to infiltrate the Alliance. But honestly, there's almost no real basis for this theory, so let's just move on. Considering that even regular Astro Toilets can easily break through Large Cameraman's shield, imagine what a super powerful Astro Toilet leader with more advanced tech could do to the Alliance and Skibidi Toilets. They could instantly shift the balance of power on the battlefield. Also, about Cameraman's shield, as you might have noticed before, Large Cameraman's shield is basically a portable version of the Titan Cameraman's shield, whose fate is still up in the air. And if even a regular small Astro Toilet could destroy that shield, it's likely that Titan Cameraman didn't stand a chance of surviving and defending against the army of huge Astro Toilets that surrounded him in episode 74. However, let's not forget the dialogue between Astro Duchess and Astro UFO, which hinted that Titan Cameraman might have survived after all, so there's still hope, and I'm holding out that Titan Cameraman will turn out to be alive. I also want to mention the people who showed up in this episode. In the dialogue between the people and Large Cameraman, there's a mention of a church that's burning and inaccessible to survivors. This could become a crucial location for future events. In the second part, Cameraman might try to get into the church despite the dangers and find something important for continuing the fight against the Astro Toilets, like ancient tech or information that could change the course of the war. Given that Mr. Boom often references Jesus in his videos and interviews, anything could happen. At the very least, Large Cameraman might find injured but still alive people inside the church who could still be saved. I'd also point out that the mutant hybrids are likely to keep evolving and getting stronger. In this episode, we saw them actively improving themselves by taking technology from defeated Astro Toilets. In the next episode, they might get even more weapons from the Astros, making them even more dangerous in battle. It's pretty interesting because unlike other Skibidi Toilets, they're the only ones developing so intensively, which might indicate higher intellectual development. In some instances, like with their approach to alliances, they even seem smarter than Large Cameraman, who is a robot. Each of these theories adds intrigue and drama to the plot, making it deeper and more unpredictable. No matter which one plays out, one thing's clear: the future episode promises to be packed with events and crucial decisions for all the characters. See you in the next video.